Beep, 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 Jester news thing. Hello, I hope you're okay. I've got some Manchester Pride related news. We're off again with these folk. So, it's been a busy old week. Welcome and hello everybody. Thank you very much for listening. Subscribe, click the thing. Right, this comes with a blog which I've opened to everyone. It's in the form of a PDF. So I've got it in a PDF on my blog and you can download it and read it if you wish to. It's about Manchester Pride, and I think Manchester Pride are possibly in danger of encouraging bars to breach the Equality Act. Oh gosh, oh my. I'll link in the usual suspects. Let's see if anybody can give me a bit more advice on this. But it strikes me as what they're doing is discriminatory, and I'm more than happy once again, as usual, to be proved wrong about this. Just don't think I am. Right, so let's have a bit of background to all this first, shall we? So I've got some things I'm going to read and take you through. So Manchester Pride, for those of you that don't know, it's in August. Big event, yeah, like lots of people, all manner of stuff going on. And it's got nothing to do with American Pride. They like you to think it has, but it hasn't. It's actually about, comes from originally the work of the Campaign for Homosexual Equality, going back to the 1950s. Pride was only adopted later on. So, first of all, this is the bit I can't get my head around, right? Okay. We've had real problems with Pride before. Okay. So in 2020, they had a human rights forum. A human rights forum which involved, for a start, Ben Hunty. I've met, lovely guy. Bit of a lefty. Aren't you, Ben? Lovely guy, bit of a lefty. But it wasn't him that was the problem. In 2020, we had a couple of homophobes on, get this is the bit that's really hard to get your head around, and this was actually on what was known as the Pride Human Rights Forum. And these two homophobes, which will be known to most of you, were Munro Bergdorf and Juno Lawson. Well. What a turn up for the books. We have these people that we know to be rather homophobic. All the evidence is in the blog. Just go and have a look. Right, okay, so we've also got now the problem from 2021. Again, there's a link to a video I did about this, in which they turned the vigil. Now, let me explain what the vigil is. Right, the Beacon of Hope is in Sackville Gardens in Manchester, and the Beacon of Hope is there to remember people who've died of AIDS. Right, okay, that's the whole point of it. It's to remember how devastating that was to men of my generation and others since, which of course we've done terribly well at staving off, right? So that's about that, right? Okay, so that's what it's about, the vigil. It's about saying, we remember, we won't forget. Last year they turned it into a pantomime. Again, there's a link in the PDF that will take you to my original blog about this, that turned out to be about anti-racism and critical race theory, and somebody got their tits out on a big screen. It was all a bit much, really, and it spat on the memories of the men that died from AIDS and those who have died since, and women, of course. So really, Manchester Pride's not been doing too well for the last couple of years. So they had a round of get together with some local people and see whether or not what their ideas are. So I went along with Alex, who known as the Beanie Man from LGBT Alliance, and I sat in on this, but it was just your usual queer theorists and own truthers. Mad buggers, own truthers, and a couple of drag queens, and most people who didn't have a clue what the hell was going on and what it was that they were supporting. It was very confected and very controlled, but it was obviously done with the best of intentions. There were some lovely people there, so they'd done it with the best of intentions. I, honest to God, don't know. I think there's a few people in there that they're scared of. There's something going wrong with Pride. Something going wrong. So it's no surprising that after this consultation in 2021, that we've now got a few problems come into the fore, right? And the first one is, and I put the picture into the PDF for you to see, is that they've taken the pink triangle, wait for it, they've taken the pink triangle and they've put chevrons in it to indicate the disruptive and the disruptive nature of gender ideology and queer theory. They've done that with the pink triangle. You bastards. You utter bastards. Who thought that was a good idea? I've got my money on a certain individual I've spoken about before, but what do you think you're doing? That's what they stuck on people, before they stuck them in the gas chambers. What do you think you're doing? What do you think you're doing? You're going to have to answer for this. Okay, that was the first one. And the second one is they've got a load of promotional material going around as well, which posits queer in everything, and also a group called Rainbow Noir. More about them in a minute, right? Okay, but essentially, you're a bit hard pushed to find the word gay anywhere. We know what this is. It's gender ideology and queer theory and critical race theory. You've been completely captured, Manchester Pride. You're captured, and you are beyond saving. Okay? Now, you know that the other day I did a short diatribe about the idiotic piece that was written around people's brains. Bloody nonsense. People's brains and things, right? I sense this particular individual at the bottom of a lot of this. So what's interesting is that they placed a video on Twitter's yesterday. Again, the links are all in the PDF that you can get from my blog, and it's free today. So what they said was, hello, I'm from one of the bars. You can't get in any of the bars when you go to Manchester Pride unless you're wearing your pledge band. It's called a pledge band. Now, I don't know what the pledge band means we're pledging. Nobody seems to. Can't find it on the website. What are we pledging to? When somebody buys that, what are they pledging to? And I think that's an important question to ask. You're making a pledge to what? Because by the look of the imagery you're using, you're making a pledge to extremism. Right? And here's where it gets even more interesting. Because Alex has done a rather good Twitter thread in the PDF, right? Where he's reported Rainbow Noir to MI5. Right? Same as I'm saying, this stuff's a Prevent issue. So we've now got Pride being reported to Prevent, the Charities Commission, now Rainbow Noir. It's only a matter of time before we get the rest of them. But this should begin some kind of pushback and investigation into exactly what is going on. So have a read of that Twitter thread by Alex. Very forensic, because Alex is a details man, so it's very forensic. Goes into why, what, where, when, how, and it's really interesting to read. I've got that in the PDF as well. And then I thought, well, I'll have a little bit look, what's going on here, saying that you're not going to serve people that don't pledge to Pride. What does this pledge mean? Nobody seems to know. I can't find anything about it at all. But it says here, right, actually on the Pride website, non-admittance to event arenas and gay village bars. Now, there'll be people who run gay bars that will watch this. Ignore me at your peril. The best way to enjoy the gay village party is to purchase a ticket. Well, you don't need to. You can walk through the village anytime you want. It's a public right of way. And exchange your ticket for a pledge band. Pledging what? Wonder what it'll look like. Will it have chevrons and rainbows? I bet. Right, okay. All of the gay village bars have agreed and committed to not allowing access, refusal of access, or serve drinks to visitors who are not wearing official Manchester Pride pledge bands. See, if you don't give ideological fealty, they'll remove your ability to get a drink at your Pride, gay men. Your Pride. And lesbians, your Pride, okay? Without a pledge band, you won't be able to access Manchester Pride arenas. Well, that's no great loss. You go for your friends, really. And you won't be able to access any bar or club in the gay village. So head to the box office and get your pledge card. By doing so, you donate £2.50 directly to the community fund. That's the bit that interests me. Now, you're paying for your pledge. You're paying for the ticket anyway. So where's that money going? That was the next question that I wanted to, in some way, try and answer. Because then we might know what we're pledging to. So what Alex has done has shown up quite a bit of where the money might go. It might go to Rainbow Noir. It might. Or it might go to the Proud Trust. I don't know who it's going to, and nobody seems to. But we know it's going to Pride, and it's fairly obvious that Pride are captured now. But it gets worse. Imagine you're a business at Pride. So I'm thinking about the bars now, right? The bars who go all year round supporting gay people and all year round helping gay people. And over the time I've known all these people for years and years, and years, have done the most extraordinary charity fundraising, have raised money to help people, have raised money to do things, have provided entertainment. We've had some great times, right? But the bars seem to be falling for this bullshit, and I don't know why. I think it's because they don't understand it. I don't think this has got anything to do with the bars. I think they're just having to do it because if you want to get to, you've got to get the business. Somebody's putting pressure on somewhere, and I imagine that there's a counsellor or two that's got something to do with this, and will be looking to you into you in more depth in the future. So I thought, what happens if you're a business? Well, if you're a business, you want to do business at Pride, which I would imagine includes, probably the bars. Maybe people who go along and do food or whatever it may be, or it's a bit worrying, right? Because you can't find any details about this pledge anywhere, apart from that ridiculous statement in their document when they point you to the wrong one anyway. They've got so many documents, nobody cares. So what we've got here is the commercial engagement policy. And it ain't pretty, folks, right? So they use the LGBTQ plus acronym everywhere, which is a pain in the arse and it's homophobic anyway. But the organisation, so at least 2 of the following criteria must be met if you want to be an organisation that goes to do this. The organisation wishes to publicly support the campaign for greater LGBT plus equality. I don't know what it means. What's the T and Q plus mean? Right, the organisation is planning activity with Manchester Pride to support its LGBTQ plus employees. What, over other employees? Careful, folks. The organisation is aligned with and supports the aims of the modern Pride movement. Now, the modern Pride movement is an American term and has no relevance in Britain at all. What they're actually saying is that you will align with critical race theory, queer theory and gender ideology. They're captured by applied postmodernism. Right, then it gets into some seriously coercive territory, right? Essentially what they're saying is if you're a business and you want to take part in this, you've got to sign up for their they're all equals charter. This is this thing, which is essentially the Stonewall Diversity Champion schemes over again. It's the same thing. They're just, but you've got to be part of that if you want to have a business at Pride. So if you don't agree with them, say you're a one-man band selling burgers. Yeah, I don't want to sign up to that because I don't agree with it. Yep, can't do it. Not according to this. Not according to this. Right, so coercion. It also says that they have to support the intersectional identities of LGBTQ plus people. More homophobia. Right? You don't identify as gay, you are gay. This is the old homophobia writ large again. From Pride, Manchester Pride. Confirms that they're actually completely ideologically captured. I mean, one of the examples is the NHS Tameside. Listen to this. This is chilling, right? This is from the NHS. Strive to promote intersectional inclusion, which means understanding how and why people's identities influence their lived realities. Honest to God, the NHS. Resulting in different groups of people across the borough. This proactive and ever-evolving approach ensures the intersectional inclusion of marginalised groups is a main priority within the organisation. What? What intersectional groups? We have the Equality Act. That tells you what to do. What are you doing? Going beyond the law. That's what they do. We're going beyond the law. It couldn't possibly go wrong. I think it might go wrong. So the question I have to assume is, let's say that I was going to Pride, right? And I'm gender critical, which I am. I'm not just gender critical. I hate all the crap that comes with it, queer and critical race theory. I hate it all. But if I'm gender critical and I look at them and I think, right, do you know what? They're supporting gender identity ideology, queer theory, the erasure of gay men, the erasure of the idea of a woman, and the medicalisation and sterilisation of children. I'm not giving them a damn penny, right? That's my belief, therefore I'm not giving them a penny. Then you go in a bar and the bar says to you, not serving you, mate, you haven't made the pledge. Is it me, or is that discrimination based on a protected belief? I think it might be, So here's a little killer for you. If I was going to Pride, which I'm not, what I would do is I wouldn't get a ticket. Don't pay anything. Just go in a bar and try and get served. Go in as many as you like. And you can go down the road, do them all. And if they don't serve you, I reckon that could well be money in the bank. And I shall wait for any legal bods out there, perhaps Alison the Marvellous Bailey, or maybe even Maya herself, who can help us with Forstata case there, which is one of the key cases in this particular situation. Being gender critical is a protected belief. You want to refuse people drinks and service based on the fact that they won't pay for a pledge to an organisation that requires them to give up their gender critical beliefs. If I was a bar in Manchester, particularly in Canal Street and around the gay village right now, I'd be thinking very carefully about what I was doing, and I'd be speaking to my lawyers. Keep jesting, good folks. I'll see you soon.